point on your map. I have another job for you. I'd like to link all the cameras in the building to a central monitoring system, but most aren't calibrated correctly.
Yeah, so this guy on the radio with us right now, he was the one who told us to download some data. He says, because apparently somebody needs it in another department, and I'm too busy. I can get you to do it for me, though, right? This guy is totally not legit. He's totally socially engineering us. Like, could you help me out with some maintenance problems? And
another locked door. Not a problem. Voila. You now have level 2 security clearance. Not bad for your first few weeks. Find the camera control station first. I'll update you.
It's magic.
Ah, this is an interesting security measure. It looks like you need to find the right combination of numbers to adjust the weight.
Oh, I remember this.
Easy enough, right? Pick a number selector, then change its value. Once you find the right combination of numbers, you should get access.
Yes, we need to have a target number of 70. Okay. So it's a case of knowing how they're going up. So if I do 2 and then I do 2 there, it's multiplying. Okay. Right. So if I do 10 there and then multiply that by 7, we get 70. Perfect. I have to do maths. What the hell? In my video game.
Can you do
I
math?
know.
Like...
This wasn't discussed.
Well, it was in the fine
There were
print.
no warnings on the box.
I understand that, Leticia. I'm sorry if that came out wrong. We are not trying to be a bottleneck here, but we just don't have the resources right now to do 2 times the research.
Finding that balance is your priority. Your entertainment products are simply a means to pay the bills for larger and more important work. That's the way the world works. Dirty money buys clean hospitals. You get it?
We're on board, Leticia. Rest assured. We have our best employee working on this, but it will take time.
That's me.
That means you.
Good. And thank you. The both of you. I look forward to seeing what you deliver. Until then, I'll see you at the shareholders meeting, Olivier.
Looking forward to it. Bye-bye. Tabarnak! It's a little too early for that kind of abuse, huh?
Wow.
Come on.
So, what's next?
We do as the lady says. Focus on the observatory.
Assassins, Templars, crazy talk. I'm curious about this shareholders meeting, though. How about you break into Olivier's office and see if you can find his schedule? Oh, what? You don't like that idea?
Pronounce schedule.
Well, how about I blow the fucking whistle on you, hacker? I own you.
No, it's not. It's
What I
pronounced
mean
schedule.
is,
Schedule.
I don't want to ruin your life, so do as I say. Now, step
Schedule.
over to the window.
You want to be Canadian, man? You want to get over here? Schedule.
Uh-huh. Yes, dear.
You can't waltz into Olivier's office through the front door, so I've opened another route. Up we go.
It's pronounced route.
Did you know that Abstergo was run by Templars? Oh, yes. Sounds like crackpot stuff, I know. But then again, the moon landing was faked, right? So, anything's possible. All right. Either you walk through that door or throw yourself off the terrace. Those are your options.
Okay, so where's the step ladder? I will... no.
Oh, well done, kiddo. Find his computer. Make it snappy. We're looking for the shareholders meeting schedule. It's worth a lot of money to us.
Wrathful Monk with the host. How's it going, buddy? Thank you so much for that host. Here he is, the married man.
Hello,
hey,
Wrathful
dude.
Monk.
I have my wife on voice.
The married woman is here.
Yes,
too.
the married woman is
Yeah.
here. How's it going? How was your stream? You were playing Borderlands too, right? We got a new sub as well. The Morning Biker. Thank you for subbing with Prime as well. Awesome. Welcome to the channel. Welcome. Thank you for being here. How are things? We're playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag. We're currently in the modern day part of the game. We're breaking into the boss's office. So this is all... yeah. Gonna go very well for us, I think. Yep, playing Borderlands 2.
Very well.
Nice. How excited are you for Borderlands 3? I love Rogue. I keep meaning to get round to that game. Yeah, this is the last one I've ever played. And I thought, well, I'll replay it. I've still got, is it Freedom Cry, I think is the next one. And then there was like Rogue and then Unity as well and stuff like that. Yeah, feel free. It's IronWolf-082 on Uplay, so go right ahead, dude. Okay, we've got to break into the boss's computer. It's another game of Frogger. Oh, it's got one of those middle lines. I remember these now. So the ones that keep changing, we can go through when they're not red. So we've got to time this. Ah! Didn't time it very well. There we go. Do. There we go. Yep, I believe that's how it is. I don't think it let me have it without the dash for some reason, which was weird. If that doesn't show up, then just try it without the dash, and that should be me. But yeah, co-op in Unity, that would be good. I know it had. That's like the first one they did with co-op in it. Yeah. I don't know when I'll get round to that game yet, because there's so many games right now. I want to play Rage 2 as well at some point. That just came out. And a whole bunch of others, but... Yep, I'll look you up when I get round to it. Definitely. It's the only one they did... Oh, did they not do co-op in Syndicate then? Oh, no, no, they did 2 characters that you could pick from, didn't they? That was the first one that gave you an option of, like, you know, either the male or female character. That's what I was thinking of. Okay, so to Melanie LeMay, Kama Neron, Chloe Lindsay, Christopher Darby, and Evan Dean from Olivier Garnier, whoever. Salute.
Still pronouncing that R. Olivier. Not Olivier.
Oh, Olivier. See, this is what married life is like now, for anyone wondering.
I feel Sam, because maybe it's because, you know, in Canada French is the official second language, and you know, even though I don't speak French, and I refuse to take it after 5th grade and all the rest of it, it's like, you know what, if you're gonna say it, like, say it right. At least try.
It's not on Uplay? Hang on, let me just check what my... I'm just going to alt-tab out of the game briefly. Let me see what my username is. Hang on a sec. Oh, it's IronWolf-82. There's no 0 there. That's kind of strange. Yeah, it's let me bring it over. There it is. So yeah, feel free to add me. Absolutely. Oops, that's not what I want to open. Close that. There we go. Sweet. Okay, so, as most of you know, I'll be attending the Chicago shareholders meeting from the 15th to the 17th. They'll want to see our progress with the Kenway line. The small amount of data we have already gathered is incredible, and we anticipate even more amazing finds in the near future. The events and people we have seen so far make us confident that the complete experience will be one of the most eye-opening explorations of piracy ever seen. It will take quite a bit of work to scrub the data of questionable and classified material, but we already have some incredibly promising footage. This is what's interesting to me, is that the Abstergo Entertainment, like the directorship level, they know there's another agenda here. The whole, when they're saying classified information, they're sharing that around as though it's just very, much an open secret. So, they're not keeping all of them in the dark. How do you pronounce Olivier's last name? Too poorly. Yes, that is how I did it. I pronounced it horribly. Let's have a look. Let's try that again. I pronounced it as Garnier. Garnier. I think if you put that...
Garneau.
Oh, Garneau.
It's Garneau.
Garneau.
Olivier Garneau.
But you have to put on the French accent, Garneau, and then it sounds more French. There we go, he's cringing again. He just crumples up into a cringe, like, no. Oh.
It's like, if you do it enough times, we're going to have a singularity forming over there where Sam lives.
Yes, that's it. How can you live like 100 miles from France and speak French worse than all of us? Well, I mean, we did kind of have a few fights with them back in the old days. There's a bit of...
Yeah, but they surrendered. Come on.
Actually, they kind of kicked our ass a few times as well in the medieval ages. Let's be fair. Back then they were like, "Oh shit, the French are coming, hide." But yeah, I mean, we gave them as good as we got as well, I suppose, and we call it even in the long term. Are you now in Kanukistan? Not yet, no. That's going to be happening eventually. We're looking at the application process. Got to get a few personal things in line before we can do the application. And then wait about a year for the application to be processed. Hopefully less. And then I can get over there.
Yeah. I mean, and a lot of the processing time, it depends on how busy they are, how many apps they have, political consternation and bullshit that's going on at the time, and whether or not we get somebody who's having a good day or a bad day. And if they're having a bad day, they'll be like, okay, we want you to submit all this additional data. Like, we have to give them chat logs, and we have to give them photos of us, and we have to
decent photos. Give
them referrals to people who can verify that our relationship is legit. And it's it's going to be a job.
Just so you know, your ears are bleeding, and it's not the Ebola lurking in your clogged sewer. And the Battle of Hastings disagrees with that we gave as good as we got. Technically, the Battle of Hastings was the Normans, not the French, and they were part of the British Crown anyway, so really we just had a fight amongst ourselves. Kind of. Ish, maybe. So, like any immigration department, yes, pretty much. They want us to prove that we are in a relationship. So... we're going to have to provide them with all... Well, they wanted no more than 10 pages, and it's like, that's like a day of us chatting on Discord, so...
Well, no, don't you remember? It's that initial question was no more than 10 pages, but then there was also submit like 20 photos, and then other supplementary information as follows, and it's like, we're going to be sending them like 50 pages worth of shit in the end.
I think more is better than not, so...
Plus, we had to give them a timeline of when people met me, when people met him, what dates did we have official events relating to our relationship, and so on
things
and so
like
forth.
our wedding and like the engagement, when we did our engagement photos and stuff like that. It's like, okay. So, surprise! There's a lot of like personal stuff that they ask when it comes to something like a spousal sponsorship. You probably don't have to do that if it's just a normal residency, but spousal sponsorship, they're like, okay, we need you to prove that this is genuine, so, yeah. On the keyboard, press Shift F1, that's a Uplay overlay. Oh, really? That's Shift F1. Hang on, where's my F key? Shift F1. No, it's not coming up. Control F1 maybe? Nope. No.
I mean, unless
I
you
may have
disable the
disabled
overlay.
it. Yeah.
I usually play without overlays too, because they usually hog resources and they're
Yeah.
bullshit.
But I'll accept the friend request once we're done here. Yeah. Dang, I know, right? Anyway, let's carry on reading this. So, at the same time, Abstergo Entertainment will soon be announcing a closed beta for new consumer cloud interface app, sexy name forthcoming. Edward Kenway's virtual pirate experience will be the first complete production on offer, and the first of its kind anywhere, an immersive interactive pirate experience drawn from historical data. Internal tests of our consumer cloud app have been encouraging. We anticipate it will be ready in time for the next holiday season if everything goes according to plan. So, this leads us to the broader question: what other experiences would we like to offer? What other historical periods and locations can we explore? Feudal Japan! In fact, actually, Ubisoft have talked about doing an Assassin's Creed game in, like, samurai-esque Japan, and they've said they will only approach that when they feel that the series is waning in interest. You know, like when it starts to take a dip, because they know everybody wants it. And they're like, okay, we'll hold it hostage until you no longer want Assassin's Creed games. Then we'll be like, look at this. We got a good one. So, yeah. But, yep, Feudal Japan would be good. Judging by our current rate of data retrieval, our capacity to produce, and our understanding of consumption trends, executives at Abstergo Industries have given me the goal of producing one complete virtual experience per annum, in addition to smaller offerings. As our research allows, this includes books, recordings, films, and other transmedia offerings. Interesting, they did an Assassin's Creed movie with, was it Michael Fassbender, wasn't it? So, A second related question is this: does Sample 17 contain enough compelling data to sustain our current commitment to it, or
Matt,
yeah?
Can I interrupt you
Yeah.
for a minute? Dad, go ahead. Go ahead,
Oh.
Dad.
Hello. Hi there. You're live on.
They can't
Oh,
hear.
right, okay.
I mean, well, hold on. I'd have to unplug the headset, and then everybody's going to hear everything. But
Okay, no, just pass it on. Just pass it on.
well, they heard that.
Yes.
Everybody on stream in the whole world heard that. Mom, Dad, you're
So
live
don't
to
say
the
anything
world.
weird.
Oh yes.
Oh dear, he says. Well, say hello
Okay,
to them
so
from me.
Matt says hello, and I'm going to mute everything now.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. So impromptu there by the in-laws in Canada. Can I get my mum and dad on the phone? Let's do like a really weird conference call. Get everybody in on this now. Okay, right, where was I before that before that happened? We'll just read this last one. A second related question is, does Sample 17 contain enough compelling data to sustain our current commitment to it, or should we make a request to Abstergo Industries for additional archive data? Remember, the data from Sample 1 provided fruitful enough to create our Liberation product. It's very likely that research into Sample 2 through 16 will bear similar fruits as well. Thoughts? Dead Money Joe, how's it going? Hey, dude. Your parents met Grace's parents once in 17 years. Wow. I mean, really, Shy and my parents as well have only met each other once so far, was like when we were over there for the wedding. They'd never met each other before. So, you know, that can happen in long distance. I mean, they'll probably never really meet each other again. They might not. Depends what's going on. So, in fact, actually, my parents got a 15% off pledge from Air Canada because their flight out of Vancouver got a little bit screwed up by all the technical problems. They offloaded the passengers from the plane and then put them back on. They were 4 hours delayed getting away from Vancouver. So they've reached out to my parents. They didn't even call them. They've called my parents and said, so we know there was a problem. We're going to give you 15% off your next booking with us. And I was like, no, tell them you want 15% refund, you know, rather than banking on your next booking and then don't fly with them again. Fly with WestJet. So much better. Anyway, so, possible locations. Hello all, thanks for opening the discussion. Olivier, just a brief heads up with where we stand now. I've been Sample 17's project director for over a year now, and my team have been able to cobble together a rough list of the most interesting time periods available to us through this single genetic sample. Remember, this is data that has already been fully or partially sequenced by Abstergo Industries. I'll try to be brief. 15th century Italian Renaissance, well, that was, the second game. 16th century Ottoman Empire, that was Revelation, which was also Ezio's timeline. 18th century American colonies, War for Independence, that was Assassin's Creed 3, which was not bad. 19th century New England, an American Midwest. They haven't done one there yet, have they? Interesting. And in the matrilineal timeline, the 12th century Holy Land Crusades, they did. 13th century Egypt and North Africa, they haven't, but they went back to ancient Egypt. 14th century Ashikaga Shogunate in Japan, they've said they're going to do one day when people no longer show interest in the series to rejuvenate it. 18th century French Revolution, that's the next one, Unity. Napoleonic Wars and Taiwan in the 19th century, interesting. 20th century Summer of Love, American Pacific Coast. Okay, Assassin's Creed in Hippie Land. Sweet. Let's do that. So the next game's going to be Vikings for sure then? Ooh. I think I'd heard something about this though. I can't remember if I'm thinking of another game series that's going Viking as well. I might have heard about that recently. Interesting. I know the next Watch Dogs game is going to be in London. That's going to be cool. I'd like to see how that goes down. And I wonder if they'd... I really wish that the Watch Dogs games did like what a lot of other games have done, where they try to make a proper, true-to-life representation of the city it's supposed to be set in, instead of just taking some landmarks out and then, like, bodging it together like they did with the first Watch Dogs game in Chicago. It was like, I can kind of recognise it's Chicago, but at the same time, it's not Chicago. So,
So that was really strange for my parents. I just want to say to everybody that as soon as I said, I assume it came over the mic, but as soon as I said you're live to the world, they both went, "Oh dear."
Yeah.
My mom has only been over a couple of times to watch Matt stream, and they don't really understand the whole concept, and yeah.
Yep, that would have been weird for them.
That was a little weird, but they called and they're like, I said, well, what's going on? And I said, well, I'm live on stream with Matt right now, and they're like, oh, well, say. And then all of a sudden he's like, hello, Matt, hi, and I'm like, he can't hear you.
Yeah.
But I can make him hear you.
You could have put it on speaker and held it to your microphone, but then it would come through all kind of weird, and then you've got to hold the microphone to the speaker on your thing. Yeah, it would be like...
Well, that's what I did, but I put them on speakerphone and then held it up to my... Oh, yeah, that's it. Anyway. So that my parents' first appearance on live on the internet. You saw it here first.
Or you heard it, rather, yeah.
You heard it here
And thank you very much, Rafflemonk. Thanks again for that host, by the way, dude. You go lurk away. Have a good one, mate. I'll try and catch up with one of your streams at some point.
Monk.
And see you later. Remember watching D drive to my exit in Watch Dogs 2, where there should be a sprawling suburb, there's a gas station and a veritable forest. Yeah, you see, that's what I'm talking about. There was a game called The Getaway, and then there was a second one on the PlayStation 2, I think it was, on the PS2, and it was set in London, and it was an actual accurate representation of London, like the street map. They even gave you a map, which you could, like, a physical map to fold out, and you could put it next to a map of London and be like, this is identical, right down to the one-way lanes and that kind of stuff. All they did was change, like, storefronts so they didn't have copyrighted stuff. Like, they couldn't put a McDonald's there, for instance, without paying license fees and so on, or a Gucci store or whatever, but on Regent Street. But anyway, it was all there. And I was like, this is amazing. I actually learned how to navigate London by playing a game. It's great. And yes, cracker is a good thing.
I mean, in some contexts in the southern United States, it's not really a good, but
no. But from a Brit, it's meant to be a compliment. So, yeah.
Okay, good. Well, then, thank you.
Anyway, let's see. We've got Sample 17's rich heritage. We should not limit ourselves to this alone. We have concrete leads elsewhere. For instance, quite a few men from all sides of the family fought in both world wars. Again, they never did a World War I or II Assassin's Creed, and people were screaming out for that years ago. And then the American Civil War, managed to meet President Lincoln a few times too. Going this route is a little more costly and time-consuming. In short, if anyone has any confirmed connections to interesting historical event periods or cities, or knows people who do, please share. I'll also be reviewing the past 3 decades of samples collected and sequenced by Abstergo Industries. Recently learned one of the samples, number 2, I believe, participated in the trial of Joan of Arc. Wow. Cool. So, yeah. And then we have some concept imagery. I like, you know, this one over on the left here. This guy with, like, the shady head. Looks like Van Helsing. Then we've got, I guess, World War I there in the trenches. There's Egypt. Right, good point, smell a word of caution. Sample 2 comes from the late Dr. Warren Vedic himself, collected at some point in the early 80s when he was a young engineer working at Abstergo Industries. So as tempting as Joan of Arc experience sounds, I'm not sure Abstergo would be too keen on letting us rummage around Dr. Vedic's DNA. It's just a sensitive topic. Wait, so was Dr. Vedic... Oh, wow. So Dr. Vedic, the guy who made the Animus, was himself a sample. Oh, interesting. So he put himself in his own machine to discover his own heritage. You know what would be interesting? A crossover between Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed. You know what you missed earlier on, Dead Money Joe? We hacked into another terminal in one of the offices, and there were references to Bloom Security and the CTOS that is in Watch Dogs, and that Abstergo were thinking of hiring them to do their network security. So there is a crossover. In some small way, there's a little nod. It was probably meant to be there as like an advert. Yep, it's there. But it was meant to probably be like a little like wink to say, Watch Dogs is coming, by the way. You know. So that's there, you know. Anyway, let's skip. This is a long sequence of emails. I'm done reading. I'm just going to skim through for some good stuff. Research of memory imprinting individuals is actually hampered by the semi-catastrophic catatonic state most people enter when driving with medium-long terms. Yeah, that was a problem that they had, was people, like, they begin to imprint on memories. Like, when they go through all these genetic memories, they start to change a little bit physically as well. Like, their instincts change, their reactions change. Desmond Miles became an assassin by playing one. You know, he started to notice things. He began to be able to use assassin vision and all that stuff. It's very weird. Quebec is a beautiful city, but without pirates, ninjas, or zombies, I'm not sure how well a story of Historian would sell. Yeah.
Canadian content for the win! I've never actually been to Quebec City, but yes, I do hear that it is one of the best cities to visit if you're really into history and architecture, as far as Canadian, you know, our old architecture goes, because of course we're a young country, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, I imagine it's probably been kept very sort of colonial historically and so on. Mm-hmm. As opposed to Montreal, which apparently has a very, very different flavor to it. Yeah, which is actually the city that Abstergo Industries is set in. That's the city outside. That was Montreal. Actually, there is a factual basis for zombies, or zombification anyway. Read Hurston's book on Haiti and the strange voodoo practices there. It may not be Hollywood-style zombie magic, but it's creepy nonetheless. In Liberation, Aveline comes into contact with voodoo hogans. If we were dug further into that, I wonder what we could find. Her mentor, Agate, was into some weird stuff. Yeah, that's right. The guy in Liberation, the game before this, was a voodoo guy. He was like... he taught her how to do certain things, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, it doesn't look as though there's anything else interesting here. So to be descent of technology to educate, not placate. Okay, this guy got fired. He's all talking about, like, you know, for the good of humankind. Pfft. Not gonna happen. What do we want the good of humankind for? Until
all the humorless university professors start paying us 8-figure fees to research the reification of normative... Oh god, well, I don't know. This is all kind of weird. Talking Jack the Ripper in Victorian London, I'm talking about guillotines, or guillotines if you pronounce it one way or another. Robespierre and Napoleon Bonaparte. Yeah.
Sam is cringing. I
We've
can
always
hear
said
it.
guillotines in England, okay, because that's what they are. But it's guillotine
yeah.
in French, so... Oh, Billy the Kid and Wyatt
The
Earp.
right way.
Yeah, the right way. Yeah, American Wild West. I mean, you know, if you want to play a game like that, play Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2. They're great. I mean, I'm guessing 2 is great. Everybody said it was great. I didn't play 2 because my PS4 is a brick, so I can't play 2 yet. Bring it on PC, Rockstar, and then I'll play it. For fuck's sake, man, this is a business, not a group therapy session. And then let's take this... Yeah, so this basically, like, all conversations on the internet degenerated into recrimination and name-calling. Sweet.